Hello, hello, hello. This is Tony with the Widest Simple Guy. In a new episode, we are moving right along. First of all, I want to take this time to say thank you. No, you. Thank you. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Thank you for allowing me to parachute into your day to give you these simple success principles on reading. And we are just moving right along. This is a new episode. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you. My prayer is that you are getting something out of these episodes that you could draw from, that you can pull from. Remember the last time we were talking, I told you to go out and I told you to start looking at some things that has words on it, like signs, stop signs, and all different type of signs. Restaurants, trucks that drive by you, business cars and trucks that drive by you that have writing on it. I want you to practice those type of things when it comes to reading because that's a skill that's going to help you. These are all skills that I want to impart to you so that you can become the best reader that you can be. Like me, when I started way back when, it was a challenge for me to read. I never used the word problem. I always read the word challenge, because it's just a challenge. That's all it is a challenge. Reading, lack of reading, lack of being able to read the way you desire to read or not being able to read at all. It's just a challenge. It's just a challenge. It's just something that we have to overcome. Okay. Just like exercise. I was in a training yesterday and it was powerful because the gentleman said to his son, because his son wanted to get in shape, he said, son, he needed a starting place. Just like reading, everybody needs a starting place. And so he's told his son, he said, hey, can you do one push-up a day and then increase it by the number of days in the calendar month? And I said, wow, that's pretty powerful. And so I'm going somewhere with this. What I want you to do is I want you to read one paragraph or one word a day and then increase it by the number of days in a month. Like I'm using June, for example. June has 30 days in it. So the young man decided to do one push up on day one, two push ups on day two, three push ups on day three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, until he got to 30, right? And then the next month, he said, they're going to start again, right? One push up, two push up, three push up, four push, and he continued to do that. Why do I say that? Because here's what I know, and this is where I started. If you do one push up a day, one a day, and this is where I started when I came to me doing push ups, one a day, every day. Just be consistent, right? Be consistent, persistently consistent, right? Every day you get up, you do the one push up. At the end of the year, you will have done 365 push ups. You need to shout, give yourself a high five for that because so why do I say that? Because if you read one word a day, if you practice one word a day, getting somebody to tell you the definition of the word, if you don't have a dictionary, matter of fact, you got a phone. I don't have my phone. You have a phone like this, right? You can go in your phone and you can Google the definition of that word. And guess what? There's a woman's voice that will tell you the definition of that word. And so you don't have to read it. You can go into your phone and get definitions of words that it would actually audio tell you the definition of the word. How hot is that? Is that hot? That's hot. So in this episode, I'm going to read and then I'm going to close this out with some skills or some principles that you can apply to your reading. You know me, Tony with the Widest Simple Guy, highlighter. I think big, but I keep it simple, right? Ink pen or color ink pens. Nice colors in it, right? Colorful cards. Now, why do I use color ink pens and color cards? Make it fun. To make it fun. I want this to be fun. Water, agua. If there's a little bit of El Espanol in there. Agua, water. Okay. And so glasses. I put my glasses on because I want to go into this chapter. So we're going to get started. It says chapter number 13. Boy, we're moving right along. We're almost in the middle of this book, heading towards the end. It says, where our paths parted. It says, after the conversation with Harold, I started really looking at what set successful people apart from the masses. and their willingness to fail was at the top of the list. Statistically, that means numbers. On average, it says on average. That's statistically means on average. Like, watch how I do this. Statistically, now watch how I use this as a sentence because it says on, I said it's on average. On average, only 5% of the population will be able to retire without assistance, he stated. See how I use that definition and I replaced it statistically with on average, and it means the same thing, just an average. And he said, he stated, watch this. He says 36% will have already died. 6 will continue working, and a staggering 53% will be dependent on friends, relatives, government, or charity for their survival. See how I use that statistically? Say that 3 times real fast. Okay, so that means on average. And so he's giving you averages, right? Or percentages, right? And who do you think gets to be the lucky 5%? The people who fail the most during their lifetimes? That's who. It's pretty ironic, I said. Yes, ironic and sad. Repeat after me, Eric. I like to fail. That's my problem. I don't like to fail. That's because you still think that failing leads to failure. Failing and becoming a failure are 2 very different things. Successful people fail eagerly while failures avoid failing. The whole point of becoming willing to fail more is to become a success so that one day you won't be forced to look back on your life and say to yourself, I'm a failure. Do you understand that? Yes, I said. Good, then repeat after me. I like to fail. I like to fail, he said half-heartedly, meaning he didn't put his whole heart into it. He wasn't excited about it. He wasn't fully convinced of the words that he was saying. He didn't believe the words that he was saying. He says, I fail big and I fail often. I fail big and I fail often, I repeated. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but no can never hurt me. Now I'm going to come back to that. I couldn't control myself and burst out laughing. Or say it or I'll make you pick up the check. Okay. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but no can never hurt me. Good. The word no doesn't have to be debilitating to us, meaning it doesn't have to be a crutch for us or disappointing to us. It doesn't have to be something that will stifle us or something that will hold us back. Something that will cause us not to move forward. Debilitating means something that will cause us not to move forward. Okay? Like a wall. Like a wall an impassable wall that we're not able to pass. Okay? That's good. That's the most important lesson you'll ever learn, Eric. Harold tried to teach you that, but you weren't ready yet. Are you ready now? I nodded. If that's true, then from this second forward, your life will never be the same. I sat there for a moment pondering, meaning thinking about it, meditating on it. If I really believed him. I sat there for a moment thinking about if I really believed him. See how I changed that, right? If I really believed that making such a subtle change in attitude could truly change my life. Not a word subtle, watch. If I really believe that taking such a little change in attitude could, or if I really believe that making such a small change in attitude could truly change my life. Subtle means little or small. Then I thought of something that I needed to know desperately, meaning quickly, right? Then I thought of something that I needed to know quickly, though I was pretty sure I could guess. What happened after the conversation with Harold, I asked. Well, as I recall, that night I went home and told Elaine that we'd never have to worry about money again for as long as we lived. No, I mean, what happened with the job? I asked weekly. That's Weakly, weekly, like hesitantly, not with strength, not with confidence. You know, it says, I went to work the next morning a new man. I was on fire. I finished the year as the number one salesman in the store. The following year as the and the following year as the number one in the chain. You don't remember that? No, I don't remember that because that's not what happened next for me. What happened to you? He asked. My sales didn't improve. As a matter of fact, they got worse. 2 months later, I was fired. Whoa. We sat in silence, each of us pondering, thinking the significance, the importance of an event that had changed one's life so positively and had apparently not altered the direction of the other in the slightest. Finally, the waiter brought the check, and I watched as Eric James Bratton, the man who became a success by embracing failure, signed the credit card receipt and placed his Platinum American Express card back in his billfold. As we were leaving, I noticed the waiter eyeing the scribbled menu. I'm sure he was wondering to himself, what the heck is this? It's the difference between massive success and mediocre performance, meaning just getting by performance. I wanted to tell him, it's your future, one way or the other, I wanted to shout. And I knew in that instant that for me, it would always be the lesson. I was privileged enough, thankful, privileged enough to be offered a decade ago, but chose to ignore. I approve the old saying true. Some people stumble over the truth, pick themselves up, and go on their merry way as if nothing had happened at all. Now I'm privileged. Watch this. I knew in that instance for me that it would always be the lesson. I was thankful enough to be offered a decade ago, or privileged, the honor. I was honored enough to be offered a decade ago, but chose to ignore. Privilege means thankful or honored. Okay. Now I'm breaking them down for you. Now you can go in and Google them. Like I said, that ends this chapter. Now I broke it down for you. You can go into Google and get the definitions of privilege, and then it'll bring up a thesaurus and it'll give you one word's definitions of these words. And so I'm teaching you how to go in and search for these words and just say them in your phone. You can hit the mic and say the definition of privilege, and boom, it'll give you the definition of privilege. The lady will come on and she starts talking. I use it all the time when I need to get the definition of words, right? But I wanted to come back to a phrase that we used to say as children, and we thought it was cool, only to find out that it wasn't cool when I got older and I started, as I started reading on the path that I'm on. He says here, he tells him to say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but no can never hurt me. Now, back in the day, and then he got him to say it, right? Now, back in the day, what used to happen is when we were being picked on by children, and I'm pretty sure you were picked on, they used to say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me, because they used to call you names, You're dumb, you're stupid, you're this, you're that, you're fat, you're skinny, you're ugly. They used to say things like that to hurt, when they get into these word battles, right? I call them word battles. And what they used to say is, your comeback was always, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, only for you to walk away and feel pretty bad because of what they said about you, right? Now, sticks and stones, but here's the true statement of that phrase. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but see, bones heal. Bones can heal. You put a cast on it, and bones eventually will heal. But words cause major, major damage to us as individuals. Why? Because sometimes those words come from people that we know, like, and trust. People that we know, people that we like, and people that we trust. And so if it's coming from a person that we know, like, and trust, those words hurt. So sticks and stones may break your bones, but words can hurt you. You know, there's power in words. If they say you're going to be a failure, or you're going to be just like your dad, or you're going to be like your mom, or you're not going to be able to succeed in nothing, there are plenty and plenty of famous people that have that have words spoken over them, but they ignored those words, even though they hurt, and they moved on and did great things. So I want you to be careful when people speak words over you that are negative, that doesn't have a positive outcome. Reject those words. And I know it goes in your ear, and you take that in, and you and the person telling you that, you're validated by the person telling you that. But like I said, when I was in going for my degree in robotics, and the lady told me, you can't read. That's where she started, the phrase that she started. You can't read. You can't go here. You can't go here because you can't read. You're only reading on this level, and your math's on this level. And so that was somebody that I knew. She's a guidance counselor. I didn't know her personally, but I knew her, and I liked her. She was a nice person. And I trusted her with her words that she said. And so that's what happened to me. I do not want the same thing to happen to you. You. I do not want you to have the same thing to happen to you. So be careful of who you are taking counsel from, because sticks and stones, like I said, may break your bones, but you can get a cast, you go to the doctor, and eventually those bones will heal. But words will hurt you if they are not in the proper context of, or if they're not properly spoken to you. I'll use another word instead of context. If words are not properly spoken to you and they're not positive words, we have to dismiss those words. Don't take that in. This is TonY with the Y, the simple guy, telling you, please, 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 only focus on positive things that people are saying about you, not negative. Like, you can read. I believe that you can read. Say that. I can read. Say that with me. I can read. I am disciplined. I will succeed. They call these affirmations, things that you say to yourself so that you can move yourself in a forward, positive direction. I can succeed. I can read. I am the best reader that I can be. You have to say those things because people have told you the opposite of that. I am the best person when it comes to math. I can learn math. I can read this book. In the Bible, it has a scripture, Philippians 4:13. It says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Okay, I can. Be an I can person. I can read. I can climb this mountain. I can exercise and do push-ups. I can do sit-ups. Okay, I can eat healthy. I can run I can run a mile, or I can run 5 blocks, or I can ride a bike for miles. I can. Be an I can person. I'm an I can person because I know I can do what I say I'm going to do. And I speak to myself. And sometimes you have to get in the mirror. I'm going to close with this. Sometimes you have to get in the mirror, look at yourself, and say, I make a declaration. I, TonY with the Y, the simple guy, use me as an example. I, TonY with the Y, the simple guy, will be on the stage speaking in front of thousands of people. I can do that. See how powerful that is? One of the most defeating words that you will ever use in your vocabulary, please omit it from your vocabulary, is I can't. I can't do that. I can't. Why? Because so-and-so told me I can't do that. No, I can. Be an I can person. From this day, from this time to my next episode, I want you to practice, like I said, practice saying I can. If somebody tells you you can't, say no, I can do this. You're taking your driver's test for the first time and it's kind of hard for you to read the words and get everything down. You have to tell yourself, I can drive this car. I can pass my driver's test. I can go to college. Hey, you can go to college. I can go to college, right? I can go to a trade school. I can do that. Because guess what? It's not your lack of resources. It's your lack of resourcefulness that causes you not to move in the direction that you choose to move in. So be an I can person. This is Tony with the Why, the Simple Guy, saying I can do these episodes. So dream big, but keep it simple. Dream big, but keep it simple. I want you to always dream big, but keep it simple. This is Tony with the Why, the Simple Guy, saying, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon you. May the Lord give you his peace in the name of the Prince of Peace, Jesus, our peace, our righteousness. Take care, take charge. Hey, I'm going to leave you. High hills grow less as we ascend them. The higher we go, the less it becomes.